I'm Haley Lee. Thanks for joining us today on Wellesley College Blue News. Here's what's happening on campus. The Andrew W. Mellon Foundation will continue its support in the three-college collaboration between Wellesley, Babson, and Olin. The $55,000 grant will support a new joint academic program focusing on environmental sustainability. New courses under this program will allow students to earn credits towards a certificate in sustainability. The new Witten Observatory is now open to the public. About once a month, each spring and fall semester, visitors will be welcome to take a tour, listen to talks, and look through the telescopes. For more information, visit the Wellesley Astronomy Department website. Every year, Wellesley College hosts the annual Caroline Wolfson Lecture, named after a pioneering alumni from the class of 1910. This year's Wolfson Lecture featured Amy Smith, the founder of MIT's Development Lab. Erin Davis has the story.
Hi, I'm Erin Davis reporting with WCTV at the Wolfson Lecture, where Amy Smith discussed liberal arts students designing appropriate technologies for developing countries. Smith took students on a journey through the technology and philosophy of MIT's D-Lab, which fosters creative capacity building of innovative technology. She discussed some of the projects that she and her students had worked on, such as the phase change incubator, mobile maize sheller, and the chlorination system they implemented in Honduras.
There needs to be a shift in the way we practice international development, where we're empowering people to be the creators of their future, not the recipients of our thoughts.
A key part of her philosophy is that everyone can be a designer. From the people in Uganda that began making their own technology to the women of Wellesley who want to make an international impact.
And there's no reason to think you're not a designer. Every single one of us is creative. Every single one of us can make things. So one thing is that you should have faith in yourselves as a designer. And the other thing is you shouldn't think of a designer as someone who only designs things.
This has been Erin Davis for WCTV.
Now we move on to a segment called Ask Wellesley, where we ask students what they're up to.
Hi, this is Mary Kennefic for WCTV. Fall is in the air, so we decided to ask Wellesley what they're up to for fall break.
I am having a birthday party with my friends and relaxing and doing some artwork.
My parents are coming and we're going to go to Cape Cod and do other fun activities. I'm going to go to Boston and the Natick collection with some friends.
I'm actually going to Minneapolis for the GSA, which is the Geological Society of America's annual meeting. So I'm excited.
New York. I'm going to stay in Boston City.
I am going camping with some friends, which will be the first time that I'm going camping ever. So hopefully I survive.
We're just heading out, going shopping, going to Boston, eating, and really just chilling. Yeah.
Relaxing.
Doing work, unfortunately.
I'm just going to go home and hang out with my family and friends and hopefully get a nice home-cooked meal.
We're going back to where we live in New Jersey.
I might have a few friends coming up for a surprise visit from back home, so kind of anxiously awaiting that. And I'm going to sleep, because I haven't done that much this week.
You should sleep.
My cousin's coming to visit from Pennsylvania, so we're going to hang out with him and we're going to go to Harvard for a party. And we're going to Taco Bell, right? We're going to Taco Bell.
I'm going to Taco Bell. I'm going to get Taco Bell and I'm going to load up on my Taco Bell sauce.
So we're going to get like tons of Taco Bell sauce and have it every day with our breakfast because that's how we like our eggs.
That's it for news. Be sure to check in with us next time. Now on to Kelly Kern for the latest in entertainment and arts at Wellesley.
Hi, I'm Kelly Kern. I'll be your source for all things happening in entertainment and arts on campus. First off, Upstage Productions, the student-directed theater organization on campus, will be presenting Burt Royal's Dog Sees God, Confessions of a Teenage Blockhead, from October 13th through October 16th. It is directed by Kat Chen, class of 2012, and it deals with drug use, suicide, eating disorders, sexuality, teenage violence, and rebellion, using characters from the popular comic strip Peanuts. In other theater news, we sent reporter Kathy Long to speak with the director of Wellesley's theater program, Nora Hussey. Here's what Nora had to say about this season's productions.
Hi, my name is Kathy Long and WCTV News has the scoop on what's happening in the theater department at Wellesley. Today I'm interviewing Professor Nora Hussey on what student productions are doing.
So would you please tell me what are some of the student productions that the theater is doing this semester and next semester?
Okay. Currently we have a fabulous production of a play called Dog Sees God, which is going up actually after fall break. It's directed by our student Kat Chen. It's a fabulously exciting piece, very disturbing. It's kind of the Peanuts characters grown up, and things didn't turn out quite so well. But it's a beautiful piece. It's done beautifully. Very, 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 very affecting piece, and definitely thought-provoking. So that's currently in rehearsal and about ready to be launched. They're going to do tech this weekend. And then in the department, we've got 9 Armenians, which is a play about an Armenian family, and it also touches very gently on the whole history of Armenia, and it has 7 Wellesley students and 3 professionals. This is a totally open theater situation. We welcome everybody. We have hundreds of people who work in the theater through the course of the year, and many of them have never had anything to do with theater before, and they come here and they have a great experience and they keep coming back. So it works out.
Okay. So what is your role in the theater scene at Wellesley?
Oh, chief cook and bottle washer, I think. My title is Director of Theater and Theater Studies, which technically means that I direct the theater program, which is all of the productions, as in direct, as in make sure that everything is going smoothly for the student productions. Then I direct the departmental productions. And I also teach, and I administrate the whole kit and caboodle, if you'll say, everything that goes into making the whole operation work. I just am there. I'm also the artistic director of the Wellesley Summer Theater Company, which is the professional theater that's been with us now. I founded it in 1998, and now we're in 2011, so I guess we're going to survive for another few years. So I just do a little bit of everything. Everybody pitches in here. Nobody stays in their traditional role. It's kind of we do things as they need to be done. So, and I'm very lucky. I work with great students, great people, great professionals. It's been a fabulous run. Yeah.
So, what are some things that are distinctly unique about Wellesley Productions?
Well, I think I'm probably a little prejudiced. I'm probably going to sound like a very proud mom, but our women are very, very smart. They're very, very talented. They're extremely creative, and they know how to collaborate. So, you know, I'm not going to say that we have the perfect situation. No one has perfection, but you aim for a certain level of professionalism and level of camaraderie, so that even in the tough times we're still having a good time. So I think that makes us unique. I think that we tend to emphasize the idea that everyone is part of the whole structure. There's no star. There's just everybody getting the job done. And I think that makes us very special, and I think it makes for, the quality of the work here is extraordinary. It always has been, I mean, for a very long time now. I mean, I have lots of friends in the theater business in Boston, and they come out to see student productions here, and they're blown away. They just can't, you know, they can't fathom the level that we're able to achieve. And I think some of it has to do with the level of commitment and the extraordinary, just love that people bring to the work that they do here.
Thank you so much for answering
my questions. And thank you for having me.
Okay.
Take care.
I'm Kathy Long, and this has been WCTV, and this is The Scoop on the Theater Department.
The Davis Museum has an upcoming exhibit, Double Solitaire, which features the work of husband and wife surrealist painters. It features 25 paintings along with various ephemera and is set for exhibition from October 19th until January 15th. A program run by the Jewett Arts Gallery is the Applied Arts Program, which is free and open to all Wellesley students, not just as art. Reporter Lucy Cleveland interviewed a professor who runs the program. Here's that story.
Well, the Applied Arts Program is a series of free non-credit workshops for the Wellesley College community. It's open to not just students, but also faculty and staff. It's open to alumni, so it's the greater Wellesley College community and not just one particular group. Well, we've had a number of really interesting workshops, a very wide range. A few years ago we had a sculptural weaving workshop, and that was an opportunity for students to explore sculpture in the context of a weaving technique. And I think last spring we had a workshop on fabric stenciling, so that was really terrific, and we were able to work with textiles to think about pattern and shape and think about the history of textiles. And then a really popular workshop that we've run every year is ceramic mosaics, and that's been a really well-received workshop. Students get to work with handmade tesserae, which are little pieces of ceramics that are cut to become little mosaics, and then students are able to arrange and create a mosaic. I think applied arts is so much about community. It's about bringing people together into a really different kind of environment. What's been really wonderful for me as the coordinator is I've gotten to meet people from all over campus, people who I would never have met, and you get to meet them in you know, this extracurricular context, you know, so there's very low stress and people are really just there to show up and experiment.
These are really amazing opportunities for the students and the Wellesley community at large, so thank you for speaking with us about it. Thanks.
Thanks, Lucy. The Newhouse Center has begun their Fall 2011 Distinguished Writers Series. So far, we have had authors Lydia Davis, Martin Espada, and Aracelis Germay. On October 18th, we will have Nina Revoir and Christian Campbell. All writers give readings of their work and engage in open dialogues with audiences. All readings are free and open to the public. They take place on Tuesdays at 4:30 at the Newhouse Center for Humanities in Green Hall 237. Wellesley College music faculty performed Pasente Sperto. The program featured a wide variety of pieces from composers as diverse as Johann Sebastian Bach and John Cage. It was a celebration of 400 years of musical virtuosity featuring medieval instruments. That's all for entertainment and arts. Now on to Allie Binney in sports.
Hi sports fans, I'm Allie Binney reporting your Blue News Sports. The fall welcomes a new season and the Blue is heating up midway through October. Here to report on soccer's new coach and their season is reporter Lauren Jane Foster.
This August, the varsity soccer team arrived with only 11 girls eligible to play and 7 out on injuries. The Blue soccer team had a promising future ahead of them, but first had to get healed and get fit.
The Blue train twice a day to build stamina, endurance, bond as a team, and build their skills. With only 3 senior captains, 4 first years, and several former players studying abroad this semester, the Blues roster was much smaller than usual.
The team welcomed a new assistant coach, Caitlin Pickle, to join head coach Tony Muhammad in his 5th season at Wellesley with assistant Taryn Preventure. Struggling through the first part of the season after a string of 5 losses and a reputation for often having to battle out their games into overtime, the coaches agree that the game's results often dictate who dominated the match. The Blue had their first conference win of the season on homecoming September 24th, clinching a 2-1 win against little sister rival Mount Holyoke when senior captain Amanda Young scored the game winner 28 seconds into overtime, which could be the pace changer for the Blues. Now fully healthy, the Blues squad holds a 1-2 conference record and is looking to place in the top 6 in their conference to advance to NEWMAX. This has been Lauren Foster for WCTV.
It's not just varsity sports that have an exciting rest of the season. Wellesley offers a multitude of club sports. Reporter Kalyani Bhatt has the inside scoop on Wellesley's ultimate frisbee team, the Whiptails.
Kalyani Bhatt for WCTV Sports. This week, I'll be filling you in about Wellesley's ultimate frisbee team, the Whiptails. I caught up with Lucky Kwan and Sarah McGarrett, this fall's captains, earlier in the week, and they filled me in on what ultimate is all about. The Whiptails are a team of 40 to 50 students. Frisbee is a fun way to get exercise with friends. Because there are no referees, players must call fouls and penalties and come to a consensus. Over spring break, the team has traveled to Georgia and Florida. Sometimes players wear costumes to themed tournaments. This has been Kalyani Bhatt for WCTV Sports.
Thanks, Kalyani. Be sure to stay tuned for my exclusive interview with Athletics Director Bridget Belgiavini. I am here with Athletic Director Bridget Belgiavini, and we're going to have a quick chat about Wellesley Athletics. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ellie.
You've been at Wellesley since 2006. What made you decide to accept the position at a women's college?
My overall commitment to women's education, and particularly in my field, which is physical education, fitness, and sports. I started my career as a physical education teacher, and then went to coaching and then into athletic administration. And all along the way, it has always been about providing opportunities for women in the field of physical education and sports, and there really is no better women's college than Wellesley.
I can't disagree with you. What do you think is most important about being athletic director here?
The most important piece here is to continue to stress the importance of being engaged and involved in sports, first of all, and then secondarily for the other general students to be involved in some kind of physical activity on a regular basis. For me, it's about promoting the values of athletics participation for the students, and to get student athletes like yourself to understand and recognize the value of teamwork, time management, the ability to come back from failure when a team loses, working together for yourself as well as for a group of student athletes.
You come from a background of, come from a co-ed background. What do you think are the major differences between a co-ed athletic education and one sex?
That's a great question. There are a couple things. One is resources are significantly different here. All the resources for the entire department are allocated only to women. At the co-ed institutions, no matter how much we have tried, because of the historical sponsorship of male sports and men's athletics, men's programs end up just using more of the resources. So I think the resource allocation is pretty significant, and we're confident here that we can say you're not sharing the resources with male sports. I think the other big piece is the engagement of the campus in sports particularly, and I know that we have in the past talked about fan support and people supporting athletics competition. I think at the co-ed institutions, clearly there are more people that come out. I would argue they come out to support men's sports. They're not necessarily coming out to support women's sports, although a school might have a really good women's basketball or women's volleyball team which might generate support. But I think the culture of the climate of the campus and the culture at co-ed institutions is more conducive, and that's because of the men. It's not a good excuse, but that's what I see.
Right. So just touching on fan support, a lot of athletes on campus are really disheartened by the lack of fan support at games. What do you think athletes in the overall Wellesley community can do to increase fan support?
Well, one of the things that I believe the Student Athlete Advisory Committee and our teams have recognized is that if we want the campus to support athletics, then each athletic team, current team, needs to support each other first. So we can't expect the general student to support us if our own student athlete population doesn't support each other. And the Student Athlete Advisory Committee and teams have really worked hard, I think, at rallying and have created a community. I'm really proud to say that I believe we have a great community now of student athletes who do recognize their role and the importance of supporting each other because they want someone in there at their games as well. So it has to start within the program, and I think we've started and made some real good progress with that with our t-shirts in the beginning of the year. So there's Blue Pride within the program, and now we can extend it to the rest of the community.
Right. So Superfan Days are the t-shirts that you're talking about and stuff. Who was behind that idea?
Two of our assistant coaches, Amanda Leahy, who works with our basketball team, and Lacey Gelati, who also works with our softball team, and they both work in secondary positions in strength and conditioning, came up with this idea last year, and they came up with a proposal to engage and shift the campus culture to support athletics so that there was more support for the athletics program. They came up with the idea, and I went to the provost, Andy Shannon, and he thought it was a great idea to try and infuse more fan support, and he contributed from his budget to help us purchase the t-shirts. And then the Student Athlete Advisory Committee with Amanda and Lacey actually run the events at each of the at different sports during the course of the fall, winter, and spring.
And when is the next Superfan date?
We've actually had 4 already this fall. We had 2 with soccer, 1 with volleyball, and 1 with field hockey. We will have, what I believe they've seen is less and bigger is better. So what we will begin to see is the planning for a larger event in the winter that will try and bring other campus organizations together. Some of the Blue Notes singing at the halftime of a basketball game. So what we're trying to do now is to highlight a particular event and see if we can't get more people and generate interest that way. Recall last fall we had the first Friday with the volleyball team's opening event, and I never saw so many people in the multipurpose gym. It was the best. It was the best sense, but we recognize that students are busy. They're not going to get to every event, so perhaps highlighting some where at least once or twice during the course of a season we'll have more people there.
Right.
Like this past weekend we had homecoming soccer and tennis, and there were huge crowds. It was awesome, and everyone was in their blue t-shirts, and there was a lot of energy.
Where do you see Wellesley College athletics heading in the future?
Looking in the crystal ball, the expectation is that we will begin to have more teams earning NCAA bids and moving further into NCAA postseason competition. It starts with great conference play and winning the conference championship, and then that guarantees you a bid into the NCAA regional tournament. But our goal really is to finish within the top of the conference, which is getting to the final game, so you have a shot at winning, and then moving on and progressing further in the NCAA championships. Because if it's about athletics excellence, then you want to get as far as you can within the NCAA.
Right. On to a more general topic. What do you think is the best part and the worst part of your job?
And you did give me these ahead of time. I think the best part of my job, without a doubt, I mean hands down, is watching students in action. Whether that's, and I spend a lot of time at athletic events, I wander through practices, but it's also watching students and the teachers and coaches in classrooms, in the physical education programs. I wander through the building and watch classes. I'll watch students in a recreation event or an intramural soccer game, and watching them at practices and games. That is by far, there's nothing like it. But clearly I can't do that all day. And I would say the worst part is responding and dealing with the numbers of emails, phone messages, and paperwork process that comes along with being an administrator, being responsive to the conference and planning and preparing for meetings and some of those kinds of things.
Busy work.
Yeah, we could consider it busy work, but all of it's part of, and you know that going into being an athletic director, that there's a balance, but what I try and do is really block out portions of the end of my days so that I can wander around, and then during the course of the day I'll wander just to get out of my office, really.
What's your favorite place in the sports center?
My favorite place is the field house, minus the rain when it's coming in. However, the really positive about it is it is one of the best places because when it's filled with students, so there are students on the cardio machine, students on the bikes, student athletes or general students wandering or walking around the track, and then a team maybe in the middle of the track. It's just filled with students is the best. That really is the best place. There's a level of noise that you can sense. There's just a level of physical activity that's really palpable.
Great. And one last question: what's something about you, athletics or personally, that no one knows?
I can tell you, athletically, I was cut from my college basketball team, which was devastating. And in those days, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to another sport. And so I tried out for lacrosse, and I ended up being a 4-year athlete in lacrosse. But so that's something people would not ordinarily know. I think the other is that I call my parents. I'm fortunate enough to have parents still alive, and I call them at least once a week and tell them I love them.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and we hope that we'll see more fans at games, and thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Allie.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to log on to Wellesley's athletic website to stay updated on all sports events, including Superfan Days. And don't forget, all out, all season, all blue. Closing this episode of Blue News, we are left with music from Galen Stone Towers, Carillon, and images of Wellesley in the fall. Thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Katie Barsotti, music reporter for the Blue News. The Guild of Carillonneurs is a student organization that has been playing the carillon since 1931, when it was donated by a trustee with the stipulation that it be played by students.
The carillon is located in Galen Stone Tower and Green Hall. It has 32 bells, which ranges about 2.5 octaves. The Wellesley community can enjoy the sounds of carillon between classes and can view the tower when the Guild opens it to the public 3 times a semester. The piece playing is called Siciliano, written by Pasquale Ricci. It is a recording of Carla Staffaroni playing during their Carillon Summer Concert Series.